All right, these are going to be the notes for adding and subtracting mixed numbers. So if you look at your note sheet, the first thing it asks you to do is do a mixed review. So in class today, we started off by giving the first few minutes to try and do these 6 problems. So the answers to the 6 problems are in the boxes, and my work is shown below. If you have any questions about any of those, please feel free to contact me and let me know. So let's talk about adding and subtracting mixed numbers. So it says, how do we add and subtract positive and negative mixed numbers? Well, the first thing we want to do is make the mixed number into an improper fraction. Once the mixed number is made into an improper fraction, we use the same rules that you did yesterday in your video. I know it says Friday, that was from last year. So the rules that we did yesterday, remember, where we made sure there was a common denominator, we rewrote the fraction as needed, and then we moved everything to the top and solved. So on the back, there's just a bunch of practice problems that we're going to try to do together. So I have negative 6 1/8 plus 2 5/8. So first thing I'm going to do is make it improper. So remember, I take my denominator, I multiply it by the whole number, and then I add my numerator. So 8 times 6 is 48, plus 1 is 49. So I have negative 49/8 plus 8 times 2 is 16, and 16 plus 5 is 21. So 21/8. Okay, now common denominator here, so that's great. We're just going to write 8. And then we look at the top. I see negative 49 plus 21. And then I use my integer rules. So when the signs are different in addition, that means I subtract my numbers. So 49 minus 21 should give me 28. Negative, so I have negative 28 over 8. And remember, this year I said it's okay to leave our answer as an improper fraction. So we're actually going to leave it like this. However, it can be simplified, so we need to do that. So looking at 28 and 8, I see that 4 can go into both of those. And maybe you didn't see 4 right away and you did 2 and then you did 2 again. That's okay. So I would say negative 28 divided by 4 is 7, negative 7. And then 8 divided by 4 is 2. So my answer here is negative 7/2. Okay, let's try the next one. Negative 8 2/3 minus 2 1/2. I make it improper. So 3 times 8 is 24 plus 2 is 26. Keep the denominator. And this was negative, so I'm going to write negative. Minus 2 times 2 is 4. Plus 1 is 5, so I have 5/2. Now, in this problem, my denominators are different, so I need to come up with a common denominator, and our goal is always to use the smallest common denominator, the least common denominator. So the smallest number that both 3 and 2 can evenly go into is 6. So I'm going to write that, and then I would say 3 times 2 gave me 6, so 26 times 2, that's 52. So I have negative 52 minus 2 times 3 gives me 6, so 5 times 3 is 15. And then just like last time, we're going to share our denominator and bring everything to the top. So I have negative 52 minus 15. So just looking at the top, that's a leave, change, opposite problem. So I would have negative 52 plus negative 15. And since the signs are the same, I'm going to add them together. So that gives me negative 67. And my denominator stays the same, which it was 6. And then I look and I see if there's any number that can go into both 67 and 6. And there's not. So my final answer is just negative 67/6. Remember, I do not want you to make it back into a mixed number. You do not want that for next year in 8th grade. So we're going to get in the habit of not doing that. All right, here I have 4/3 minus 1/2. So here, it's already been made into an improper fraction for me. So I just need to come up with a common denominator. And again, my common denominator is 6. So 3 times 2 gave me 6. 4 times 2 is 8. 2 times 3 gave me 6. So 1 times 3 is 3. So I'm going to write it like this. I have 8 minus 3 on the top, and they share a common denominator of 6, so I just make 1 6 now. And 8 minus 3 is 5, and the common denominator stays the same. And 5 6 is in its simplest form. That was an easy peasy one. All right, let's try the next one. 4.5 plus negative 5 and 5 6. So again, make improper first. So 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9. So I have 9 halves, plus 6 times 5 is 30, plus 5 is 35 over 6. Now this is negative, so I need to put that in there. Okay. Common denominator. So I need a 6. Now I'm going to try and do it a different way this time, just so it's one less step, because I think you guys can probably handle this. So here I said 2 times 3 is 6. So 9 times 3 is 27. So I'm going to put that on top. Plus, this already had the common denominator of 6, so I don't need to change that at all. I just need to bring down the negative 35. Okay, so here I see my signs are different. And in addition, that means I'm going to subtract the numbers. So 35 minus 27 is 8. And I keep the sign of the larger number. So 35 is bigger and it's negative. So I have negative 8 over 6. Now, I know this can be simplified because they're both even numbers. So I need to divide both of them by 2. And I would end up with negative 4 thirds. Negative 4 thirds is my final answer. Let's try again. Negative 2 1/4 plus negative 3/10. So again, make improper first. So 4 times 2 is 8, plus 1 is 9. So I have 9/4 plus, and this one doesn't have to change at all because it's already a simple fraction. So I'm just going to copy it down. Now, common denominator next. So the smallest number that 4 and 10 can both go into. You should be writing down 20. Again, we're going to try and eliminate a step here. So 4 times 5 is 20, which means 9 times 5 is 45, plus 10 times 2 gave me 20, so 3 times 2 is 6, but it's a negative 6, so I need to write that. Now I'm going to look and I'm going to say my signs are different, and in addition, when my signs are different, I subtract. That'll give me 39. And I take the sign of the larger number. 45 is larger and it's positive. So it's a positive 39 over 20. Oh, I was naughty here. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, so if you look back over here, this should have been a negative. My bad. Hopefully you guys caught that. So now, since my signs were the same, this isn't going to be 39. It's actually going to be 51, and it's going to be a negative 51. So my answer should be negative 51 over 20. I'll write it over here so it looks better. All right, looking at the next one, I have 4 5/7 minus 3.5. So 4 5/7 I would need to make into an improper fraction. 7 times 4 is 28. 28 plus 5, that would give me 33. So I have 33/7 minus, and then here, 2 times 3 is 6 plus 1 is 7. So I have 7 halves. I'm not quite sure why this is in parentheses since it's not negative. Okay, so then we need to find a common denominator. And I know the smallest common denominator of 7 and 2 is 14. So 7 times 2 gave me 14. 33 times 2 is 66. Minus 2 times 7 gave me 14, and 7 times 7 is 49. So now I don't need to leave change opposite this because it's just 66 minus 49, which I know what that is. That gives me 17. And my denominator stays the same. So my answer is 17/14, and that cannot be simplified. So that's my final answer. So 2 more. Maybe you want to pause it right here and see if you can do these last 2 on your own. If you don't want to do that, you can just keep following me. So this one, I'm just going to bring down 1/3 minus 6 times 2 is 12 plus 1 is 13. So I have 13 over 6. My common denominator, the smallest number that both 3 and 6 can go into, is 6. 3 times 2 gave me 6. So 1 times 2 is 2 minus 6 already had this one already had the common denominator of 6, so I just need to bring down the 13. I don't have to change that. Now, I see subtraction, and it's not a common subtraction, so I do need to do LCO. So I'm going to say 2 plus negative 13. Okay, my signs are different here, so I'm going to subtract. 13 minus 2 is 11, and the 13 is bigger, and it's negative, so I'm going to say negative 11 over 6. And this cannot be simplified, so that is my final answer. Last one, negative 1 1/5 minus negative 3 3/4. So improper fraction first. 5 times 1 is 5 plus 1 is 6 fifths. Don't forget to bring down the negative. Minus negative 4 times 3 is 12 plus 3 is 15 fourths. I'm going to look for a common denominator of 5 and 4. The smallest common denominator is going to be 20. So I'm going to say 5 times 4 gave me 20. So 6 times 4 is 24. It's going to be a negative 24. Minus negative, 4 times 5 gave me 20. So 15 times 5, let's see, 15, 30, 45, 60. That's going to give me 75. Oh, I see a subtraction here. So I better do leave, change, and opposite. So now that my signs are different, that means I subtract. And 75 minus 24 is 51. And the 75 is bigger and it's positive. So I know it's positive 51 over 20. Okay, and there is no common factor of 51 and 20. So that is my answer in simplest form. So we've done the 8 practice problems together, plus you did the 6 on the front. So now your job is, there is a 4-question Schoology assignment that we want you to try completely on your own. So 4 questions on Schoology that you're going to try by yourself and submit. You can do it as many times as you want. And if you don't understand why you're getting something wrong, please email me and let me know.